Juan Chavez. I'm an attorney at the Oregon Justice Resource Center.
And I'm Franz Bruggemeyer, also an attorney at Oregon Justice Resource Center. We're going to talk to you about your right to protest, what the police can and can't do to you, and how to hold them accountable for misconduct or abuse toward you or someone else.
Knowing your rights won't always stop an injustice, but it will vaccinate you from suffering more harm and help you protect others. So let's start with your rights as a protester. It's important to know what protections you have under the law and how they intersect with the powers of the police.
You have the fundamental right to protest and seek changes to laws and government practices under the U.S. and Oregon constitutions. However, that right can be reasonably restricted in public forums depending on where, how, and when you are restricted.
When you are lawfully present in any public space, you have the right to record, whether it's through photos, video, or audio. This includes the right to record the police, provided you are not deemed to be interfering with their operations. Taking pictures or video from a safe distance is not interfering with the police. That said, if police are telling you to move back, do so and keep slowly retreating while filming until they stop telling you to move. Everyone else at the protest also has the right to record, which means they could take pictures of you. Simply being present at the protest is your consent to be recorded. The person who takes the image can decide how to use it, including sharing it on social media.
Here's some tips to prepare yourself for protesting. Before you leave home, make sure you're stocked with water, snacks, and any medications you need. Write on your body in marker that won't rub off the phone number of one or more jail support organizations. Wear a mask to help protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Disable facial and fingerprint recognition on your phone. Use a numeric passcode instead and use an encrypted app to communicate, or leave your phone at home. Leave jewelry, valuables, drugs, and weapons at home. Bring a buddy and stick together. Don't interact with the police as far as possible. Especially don't take selfies with them, high-five them, hug them, kneel with them, or anything else.
Let's talk about police now and what they can and cannot do at a protest.
Always remember that there are a lot of things that police are not lawfully able to do, but they do anyway. Police can't lawfully use force against protesters who are simply expressing themselves.
If police are violating your rights, always assert your rights, but deal with the violations later. Listen carefully to what police say during the protest. They are required to give you a chance to leave if they tell you to leave. If you're concerned about getting arrested, move away. Walk across the street, leave the immediate area. That said, you might not get a warning. Shutting down a protest in order to disperse must be a last resort for police. There should be a clear danger of riot, or if the interference with traffic, unlawful activity, or another immediate threat to public safety causes public alarm. The order needs to be clear and audible, including how much time you have to leave, which way to go, and what happens if you don't leave. If police give an order to disperse, they have to give you a reasonable opportunity to follow their instructions, including time and exit path.
You don't have to answer police questions. You don't have to show ID unless you're driving a car. If police stop you, ask if you're free to go. If they say yes, calmly walk away. If they say no, ask why you are being detained. Police must be able to put their reasonable suspicion of your alleged criminal activity into words. If the police are detaining you with reasonable suspicion, you must provide your name, address, and date of birth. You do not have to say anything else.
Stay calm. As difficult as can be, keep your hands visible and away from your body. You never have to consent to a search of yourself or your belongings. However, police are allowed to pat down your clothing or search within your reach in a vehicle if they think you have a weapon. If you are arrested, they can search you. If the police ask to search you, say, "I do not consent to a search." It can be dangerous or illegal to physically resist a search, but you should not verbally consent. You should say clearly that you do not consent, because silence gives police your consent. Police can't confiscate or demand to see your recordings unless they have a warrant. They can't delete data under any circumstances.
Courts have upheld that cops can pretty much say anything to a detainee they are questioning in order to get information. That includes lying. For example, you may hear, "Your friend already told us what you did, so you might as well admit it." Do not engage. If you get arrested, don't say anything other than asserting your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Use it. Ask for a lawyer immediately. Say clearly, "I wish to remain silent. I want an attorney."
You do have the right to ask why you are being arrested, but don't get into a debate with the officer about their response. Even if you have chosen to remain silent, you do still have to answer the booking questions. Let the officer know immediately if you have a medical condition that needs attention. This is important. Do not sign anything that waives your rights or makes any admissions about your conduct at the protest without an attorney present. Do not tell the police your immigration status. You are not required to. You have the right to a local phone call. If you call your lawyer, the police cannot listen in. But if you call anyone else, they can, and it may be recorded and used against you.
Here's what to do afterwards if you experience police misconduct or abuse. Write down everything you can remember about what happened and who was present. Take pictures or video to document. If your clothes are damaged or destroyed in some way, save all of your clothing in a plastic bag. Don't wash it. Keep hold of relevant documents or information such as medical records. Think about who witnessed what happened and might be willing to give an account of what they saw. By doing all these things, you're creating evidence that may be useful should you end up filing a legal claim against police. Remember, the evidence that you're creating could become public during the lawsuit. You have 2 years to file a claim.
We hope these tips about exercising your right to protest are helpful. If you want to report anything you see or experience in an interaction with law enforcement while protesting, email us at info@ojrc.info. Your information will be kept confidential unless you give us permission to share it. Thank you, and keep protesting.